we love what we do. We love this profession. The doctors that you hear, they talk about the passion that they have, the servanthood that they have. They're just wanting to change the world. I remember one of the doctors was like, if you practice chiropractic the way that it's supposed to be practiced, hospitals should be empty. The prison cells should be empty because every adjustment changes the way that someone thinks, the way that someone acts, the way that someone reacts. And that's how we change the world, through chiropractic.
You know, it's always good to get on with y'all, man, and talk. And I think one of the things that's important about us getting on and really having these discussions is our experience. You know, the amount at this point, the amount of years that we've been in practice, and I think that we have a lot to share uh, in our experiences over all these years. So I like to get on and talk to you guys because I know there's a lot of docs who are listening to us, who are in school still right now, or new in practice, or really trying to figure their way through all of this and figure their way through chiropractic. And I feel like some of the things that we had to say are helpful. That's why I like to get on, man. And we decided that today, what we wanted to talk about was conferences, period. Right? Like, what is it about conferences? Chiropractors go to conferences. This is one of the things that we do, right? We go to conferences. We go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for us, 9, 10 a year. And why? The question is why? Why have we been doing that so long? Why have we been doing it all these years? Because we've really been doing it since we've been in practice. Right. So we've been going to, the conferences nearly 20 years, and we've done it all, right? We've been all over this country from one corner to the other, all different types of conferences. So the question I want to start with, and the question I want to ask y'all is, why do you guys feel like you go to those conferences?
Well, for me, I guess in the beginning it was getting filled up. Um, when you're in there and you're serving, or you're working with your practice members, your patients, your staff, you're learning, you're starting off with things. You can get empty out there, just giving, and being around like-minded chiropractors was something that I always went back and got charged. I was charged. I felt for my family. I was charged for my community. I was charged for my practice members, my patients. So um, it was sometimes just needing to go out. I mean, it was a lot of reasons. Sometimes needing to go out there and get filled up,
Yeah.
get
I
charged.
think
Really?
I think when it came to conferences, man, I started going to conferences when I actually started chiropractic school. Being a part of some student organizations. And when I think about it now, I think, one of the reasons why is because I was in something new, something that I really didn't know much about. I mean, I got the very basics in the beginning, but to really understand to a certain degree of what chiropractic actually is, it really took going to conferences. I think there was
Yeah.
a limited amount of information. You get the school behind it, you get the education behind it, but what is chiropractic out
Yeah.
in real practice?
Yeah. I think one of the things I picked up on and going to conferences when we was in school was being around so many like-minded people was one of the things I really appreciated
Yeah.
about going to conferences, because we was all a bunch of students that didn't really know much, and didn't really, know exactly where we were going or what we were doing, but we was all doing it together. And
Right.
that was one of the things I really liked about going to conferences, especially early on.
Yeah.
The crazy thing I found about too, about even this conference we're doing with United DC. One of the things that I thought that was cool was going to different schools and hearing their different philosophies, and hearing the different ways that they did things, or the different ways that they apply the art, the science, the philosophy. Um, I thought that was fascinating. And then you get into practice, and it's like this division. So I was loving going to the seminars. Like, oh man, what you guys doing? A hole in one? Oh, that looked like it hurt. Shoot. Oh, oh, that's how you do. Oh, a seated atlas. Whoa. I mean that kind of stuff was fascinating. Then you get to this point, it's like, oh, okay, we do this here, we do that. Now, and it was like that unity. I felt that unity when I was going to those seminars, because everybody was there, to kind of be on one accord, even with
Hmm.
all the differences.
What about success, man? I guarantee if you ask every single chiropractor, every
Oh
single
yeah.
student, what was one of the things they wanted out of this profession, success probably came out of the mouths, will come out of the mouths of every single person that you ask that question to. So in order, you look at, I played sports, and for an example, playing basketball, I didn't just sit at home and I'm a basketball player, just sit there and not practice, not be around others that were gifted in the game. You got around those people, like you were saying, Dr. Vault. You had to get around like-minded people. You had to really get in the game. And I think with chiropractic, success is what I wanted. And I felt like the only way I would get there, when I hear about a conference and, it's got this doctor there or that doctor there were some doctors, man, that were really giants, that were giants when I was going through school. And, to be in a building, in a room with some of those doctors, and to hear them speak and the information that they shared, the passion that they had for chiropractic, that I had never heard before, not being in a classroom setting. So that type of fire, that type of determination, that kind of intention that they gave behind every word that they spoke, man, you knew success followed them, and I wanted success to follow me too.
You know what? And that's true. I tell you what, even the conferences, I just wanted to, these guys saying, yeah, you make $1 million doing this, and I said, well, let me go see what that looks like. I
Right,
mean, because success was uh, being able to get out there and create something that was foreign, and you know what is the new things, the cutting edge things, because within the medical field, man, the medical field is constantly changing.
right.
So what you did then and what you did then oftentimes isn't going to be, what's going to be
It's
the
different.
the best thing. And that's why with chiropractic, we got the chiropractic adjustment. So it's always there, but there's always a way to communicate it differently. There's always a way to bring it to more the masses, more to really have a more widespread approach, I think. And it's good to stay at the seminars and be fellowshipping and congregating with the docs, because this is how you get that information, you get that growth. I'll never forget a 20-minute conversation that I had with the doc. 20 minutes that increased my over the counter by like 70%. Just 20
Hmm.
minutes.
Yeah,
So invaluable information.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
can
one of the.
remember a time. I can remember a time, Dr. Everett and I, when we were in practice. I'll tell you how powerful conferences are, with the mindset, with the way that you think about practice. There were doctors that were seeing thousands, thousands a week. And, one of those doctors is going to be at that conference is on May the 3rd and the 4th. So if you've never had an opportunity to speak with a doctor, see a doctor that has literally saw thousands a week, then this is a
No
conference
joke.
that you want to be out. Yeah, yeah.
Or or seeing thousands a week. Seeing,
Still seeing
not not
thousands a
not
week.
not not
Exactly.
saw.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Dr.
Right.
Vaughn,
Saw
I
three
mean,
thousand last week.
right. And Dr. Everett, I know you remember, man, when we early on in practice, we felt like we felt like we were doing pretty good,
Right.
uh,
Right.
with
Hmm.
the people that we were helping, the numbers that we were seeing, and we were looking to grow. We were on fire. And I remember Dr. Vault, you came, was like, hey man, I've been working with this doc. I'm getting coached by this doc, Dr. Schiffman. That's his name. May 3rd and 4th. You should be there. But you were telling us how this doc was seeing thousands, and just hearing how you were charged up about it. We had to come see for ourselves.
Right.
And it was at that conference that the way that we grew came from a shift in our mindset that we wouldn't have never gotten had we not attended that conference. And to this day, that has been our mindset for continued growth, continued success, being able to save the masses and deliver chiropractic to the world.
And that's it, man. That conference literally changed our life.
Yeah, yeah.
It changed the way we saw chiropractic. It changed the way we saw business. It changed the way we saw serving. And those were the things that really shifted us. When you see somebody serving at that level, giving at that level, contributing at that level, all you can say is, I want to do that too. I want to be able to
Right.
contribute at that level. And and going to that particular conference and coming back home, I remember how excited we were when we got back, man.
Oh man.
And I really feel like it was going to that conference that really kicked it off, where we were going to many more from that point, because we had gotten that experience and we wanted to continue to get those experiences, which we did. We got them in different ways. Going to see Dr. Schiffman really opened us up and expanded us, but we got all of these things from all these different conferences, all these conversations we had, all these speakers that we saw. I remember one time I went to a conference in California, a pretty big conference in California, and one of the speakers was Joe Dispenza, who at the time was not nearly as famous as he is today. And I remember being blown away by his talk, right? About chiropractic, about health, about how the body works, about the electrical impulses of the body, about connection, and all of us being him saying something about all of us being in the room at once, and the amount of energy that generates. And hearing all of those things, and now I've probably read a dozen of his books since then. But having those experiences is what happens when you go to great conferences. Is you experience these things that expand you, open you up, change your life, give you a new viewpoint on what's possible.
Right.
It's funny how that seminar came up. Us working with docs at probably the most highest volume seeing doctors in the history of chiropractic right now. Being around that, and like, as you talked about earlier, Dr. Tipler, really walking on the shoulders of giants. One of the things that I've learned is that the best leaders don't create a bunch of followers, but what they do is they create leaders. And coming from that type of seminar, now what we're doing as Evoke within our community, and all of the other doctors that left there that are also doing so well, being impactful. I'm thinking about them right now. I mean, we were kind of forged and developed as leaders, and they were looking for the next generation of leaders to step up, and now we are. And it's one of the reasons why we're doing this with Evoke and with Dr. Schiffman and Dr. Leonard with CCC. It's an exciting opportunity to really forge the future of leadership in chiropractic. And we're excited about being a catalyst. We're excited about being a bridge. I don't know if we built a bridge, but we're bridge maintainers with this road to doctors really going to the next level in health within underserved communities, because it's one of the things that I believe is vital right now, especially the way things are. But doctors are always looking for the answer for, how did you all get that? How did you all get to that level? It was the attention that we paid to the type of people that we surrounded ourselves with, and learning.
I look at you guys' shirts.
There you
I
go,
look
baby.
at
There
your
you go.
shirts, and
There
evoke
you go.
for those doctors and those students that don't really understand or know what that evoke stands for. But if you look at you look at these shirts, man, and that flame in the middle is that fire. that, chiropractic, if chiropractic is in you, all you got to do is light the fire. And
Hmm.
you go to the right conferences, you listen to the right speakers. It's not a money grab. It's because we love what we do. We love this profession. The doctors that you hear, they talk about the passion that they have, the servanthood that they have, the just wanting to change the world. I remember one of the doctors was like, if you practice chiropractic the way that it's supposed to be practiced, hospitals should be empty, the prison cells should be empty, because every adjustment changes the way that someone thinks, the way that someone acts, the way that someone reacts. And that's how we change the world, through chiropractic. But there has to be something evoked in you, something evoked in you. And that's what Evoke is all about. And that's why we're so excited, to have this conference with CCC, because of what we both stand for, what we all stand for, and uniting this profession, uniting DCs under one common goal, and that's just to be servants of God, to be servants to people, the communities that we serve, to be servants to one another, because you can't go out and serve if you can't serve your brother. Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Exactly.
We have to
Yeah,
serve each other,
well,
man. We have
that's
to serve each
that,
other.
that's